Hello, everybody. Appreciate you joining me. I'm going to be talking about the most boring topic known to man, SEO. I'm just kidding. Actually, um, I hear a lot of things in the industry about vacation rental SEO, and I see a lot of false information out there, quite a bit actually. And also notice companies kind of doing things that they shouldn't be doing just to earn a buck. And I just kind of wanted to weed through a lot of that stuff today and show you guys even things that you can do yourself that's going to improve SEO. But really, the main point is enlightening you enough so that you can make some educated decisions about going forward with a marketing company or going forward with an in-house SEO person, anything like that. But just to give you a real quick background, though, I know this is the boring part, but I promise I get to the good stuff. The company I work for is InterCoastal Net Designs, and we actually specialize in two things and two things only. We build websites for the vacation rental industry, and we do digital marketing for the vacation rental industry. We don't do PMS. We don't do distribution. We focus on two things and do it very well. Been around for 22 years, still independently owned, not part of a major buyout or anything. And actually, we are Google partners as well, premier partners to be more specific. That premier part comes in because we manage our pay-per-click campaigns and optimize them to such a level that we're in the top 3 percentile of all Google partners because of the way that we are able to optimize campaigns for our clients and get them a good ROI for their bang for their buck. So there's only very few premier partners out there, and proud to say that we're one of them. Just about me, though, I actually I started in the VR industry about 15 years ago. Now that I think about it, I ranked my first website on Yahoo before Google even existed. And then in 2006, I started work at a vacation rental company in North Myrtle Beach, worked in-house there, and I did all the SEO, pay-per-click, email marketing, social media, everything like that. And we had about 450 units. It was quite the experience. Well, I also got to fix the copying machine and put real Gmail on realtors' phones and stuff like that. Anything was a circuit board. Paul did. But I've been with ICND for about 5 years now. And just like today, you'll regularly find me on soapboxes talking about stuff. So let me just get into it, and we'll just play it by ear, right? So there's always like this speculation, right, of SEO. Nobody knows what it is or how it works or, just the overall concept. And, we hear a lot, it's like magic. It's like witchcraft as well. Or I've even heard, the dark side of the force. That's one that I hear quite a bit. And, whenever you think about SEO and the overall concept, it really hasn't changed in the past 15 years. I mean, honestly, it hasn't. The overall scope of Google ranking a website or Bing ranking a website hasn't changed the way it happens. There's just a lot more factors that you have to consider now. And I'm going to show you those basic steps and go through that process. But really, it is easy. The concept is easy, and that's something I really want to show you guys. And it doesn't have to be this dark cloud. But the problem though with any SEO and learning about it is that you just can't pick it up overnight. It's something that takes years to develop, and that's why that agencies do charge a premium for good SEO services. Because somebody off the street that just wants to learn SEO, there's things that you learn on a regular basis, and with the algorithm changes, and there's no if you do X you get Y. It's not like programming. SEO is very in the dark, and there's so many different factors. But that reminds me actually of a really cool quote that I like, and It's just, if I do a job in 30 minutes, it's because I spent 10 years learning how to do that job in 30 minutes. You owe me for the years, not the minutes, right? I mean, you're paying for knowledge, and you're paying for that, just that those years of learning how to do SEO properly. So that's why it is that dark art, and that's why you do need a professional to do SEO services for you. But anyway, all right, so let's get into the nitty gritty, right? Let's get into the good stuff. So there's really three main things that rank a website. There's the technical SEO part that's probably above most of your heads, and that's all the nerdy stuff. I'll get into more of that in a bit. There's proper content, and by content, that's basically just whatever you have on your site that's going to satisfy the user whenever they're searching for your product, a vacation rental. And then there are votes, links. You need endorsements. Think of it like if you have a popular endorsement of your product from just word of mouth from a celebrity or a politician or something like that. If you have a good quality endorsement, aka a site from a quality other website, that bodes well because Google puts more trust into you because you have that link. Get into more of that later, but let me start with the second one. Let me start with the content portion, right? And we hear content is king quite a bit as far as what some of the terminology that's thrown around in the SEO community, and it works, but you got to make sure you have the right content. So I want you to look at this chart on the right real quick for me. And that right column is the volume of average searches per month. And just look through those ones I have highlighted in yellow real quick. So whenever we're talking about content, it's very much about choosing the right keywords that you want your website to rank for. Now, there's different vernaculars in every area. I mean, if we're talking mountains, then the keyword is lodging. If you're at the beach, it's rentals. If you're in Australia, it's accommodation. It really depends on where people are from and how they type it into Google. So using tools like this, we need to figure out, okay, so what keywords do we have to go for? And every now and then, you find some that are kind of break the mold, right? So if you can see on the screen, large group vacation rentals is the biggest one. This is actually client research I was doing and discovered this. It's got an average of 480 searches a month. Not huge, but enough for a long tail keyword and to build a page on. Large family vacation rentals, 320. Large vacation home rentals, 320. Large vacation rentals that sleep 30 or more, 320. That's very specific, right? Large vacation rentals that sleep 30 or more. That's, someone knows exactly what they're looking for. That's all there is to it, right? So whenever we're talking about something like that, you do have to think about the cell phone users. That's got to be cell phone searches, and they're specifically looking for something like that. So if you have those properties and you're able to build a page on your website dedicated to that specific query that somebody types into Google, you're probably going to get a very good conversion rate from it because it's hyper specific. And if you can target people that are looking for such hyper specific keywords, you're going to rank better. So that's what I mean about content is king, is that you have to actually do research before and build a page for it. So again, anytime that you're doing keyword research and you're looking for so what do I want to rank for, you have to think about what's popular. And you can just go to Google and start typing in your area and the word rentals and see what auto populates. Those are things that people popularly search for. Well, we also use tools like I just showed you on the previous slide about finding the actual specific volumes of what people are searching for. So this is something that a lot of people do forget is and don't realize is that you need to build a page specifically for each and every type of popular search term. So in this example, this is there's ski in, ski out, there's private homes, townhomes, condos, and pet friendly. So all of these are specific keywords that people look for in this mountain destination. So when you're building out these pages and you're having to think about this stuff, this is where you do need an SEO, professional SEO to help you out, because you do have to optimize these pages as well. But as a general concept, build a page if you want to rank for something. Now we have an entire blog post dedicated to this on our website. So check that out. That we'll provide the link here in a bit. So the next part though is while you do want to build pages to a lot of content and a lot of content related to your area, not all pages and traffic is created equal. So blog posts are something that I hear all the time. Should I be blogging? That's the question that I get constantly. Should I be blogging? Should I be blogging? Well, yes, you should be blogging, but keep in mind that not all content is created equal. So blog posts are great, but they don't make bookings. I'm going to say that again. So if you write about the top 10 ice cream shops in your area and you're writing just to satisfy a user that's looking for ice cream shops, think about the person that's searching for that, right? They're probably already there on vacation. They're probably on their phone. So they're just searching out real quick to find, and that ice cream shop while they're there on vacation, your blog post happens to be the best one that's available. It comes up first, they look through the list, and then they leave your website. They've already booked. They're not looking to book a vacation. So whenever you're writing about all of these different blogs, don't write for bookings, write for creating content. Let me blow this up real quick and I can show you some specific examples of there we go. That's much better. So looking at the Myrtle Beach versus North Myrtle Beach. This is an informational blog post. That's a good one. No bookings. The dinner cruise. That's a very popular search term. No bookings. Plantations near Myrtle Beach. No bookings. These are all blog posts that get no bookings. This is just a small sample size, but that's kind of the point, right? Where the homepage, people coming to the homepage for the brand, that gets bookings. People looking for North Myrtle Beach condo rentals, that's the bookings. So, when you think about that stuff, you're writing for the user and so don't worry so much about writing for quote unquote SEO, unless you're writing a vacation rental specific blog post. So I'm going to have all of these action items laid out in a PDF format for you, so you don't have to take notes or anything. So don't worry about that. But all of this stuff is going to be in there. But this one is if you want to look at look at the screen that I gave you before, then go to Google Analytics, go to behavior, and then go to your landing pages and see which ones are getting the most traffic. If you've been actively blogging for a while, then that's why. You're going to see a lot of your traffic coming up as blog posts. Now, keep in mind, if you do blog a lot and you have all this great content, your conversion rate on your website as a whole is going to go down. So you're going to have more traffic to your website, but less people are booking. So you're going to have a lower conversion rate. Keep that in mind. A really cool shift that happened over the past 3 years that I want to talk about, though, is the increase in properties as the landing pages. Now, any website that's worth its weight has an individual page built for each and every property that rental company has. It's pretty standard these days. Well, over the past 3 years, I've noticed there's been a 62% increase in people arriving to our clients' websites on specific landing pages for the properties. So what does that tell us? That tells us people are looking more and searching for the actual names of these houses that you guys have and the condo units themselves. They're seeking that out, and we can attribute that to Airbnb and Verbo and all the OTAs out there, that when they did allow you to have your brand and the house name and stuff on there, that was driving people to look for these externally. So the Book Direct initiative that has been so popular in the past few years that we're trying to educate guests about, it is working. People do see that we can get a cheaper price if we book directly through the company. So that brings me to the next action item alert. Go Google the names of the properties that are on your rental program, and you should always be the first one that comes up. If you're number 3, number 4, if you're below Airbnb and you're below booking.com and stuff like that for the names of your properties, then chances are people are going to go to those other websites, to those OTAs, and book those properties. So always do that. Google, make sure that your properties show up as number 1 on your website. And if not, then seek professional help from SEO companies like us. Shameless plug there, right? So next is the popularity contest, and I want to talk about links with this one, right? So this is the next biggest thing, or not the next biggest thing. This is a big factor on ranking a website. So links are the same as votes in a very broken down, simplistic way. And the more votes that you have, the more you win. So the more votes you have, the more Google trusts your website. The more links you have, the more Google trusts your website. And the more Google trusts your website and the content that you have on your website, the better you rank. So more isn't the right word. Quality is usually the right word, but let me get back to that in a second. So let me explain what a link is, because there's actually a misconception about that too. If you click on something on the internet and it goes somewhere else, that's a link. That's it. Anything you click and it goes to another page on a website, or it goes to a YouTube video, or it goes to Twitter or whatever, those are links. So links can be internal on your website, whether you're going from your home page to like search pages. They can be buy now buttons. They can be links to other websites. But links hold all the power, internally and externally. So let me explain that a bit more. So why are they important? Well, links are telling these search engines what the receiving page is about. And that's via the anchor text. So if you have a link on your website and it points to your pet-friendly vacation rentals page, well, that page is passing weight to that pet-friendly page. It's passing importance. So that anchor text, which I'll explain in a second, tells the receiving page, the pet friendlies page, about the importance of that page, right? So, and what the content is actually about. Let me dive a little bit deeper for you. I know this can be confusing. So here's two different scenarios. One is we have hundreds of oceanfront condo rentals in Folly Beach to choose from. Click here to see them. Or we have hundreds of oceanfront condo rentals in Folly Beach to choose from. So which is better? Now, I'm hoping you're going to say the second one. You should never use click here as a link. Not in this day and age, not anymore. Don't do it. Even in the emails, don't do it. Now you can use click here to see condo rentals, or click here to view other properties or something like that, it's still just not a great scenario. So people are kind of blind to the click here these days. You do want to make sure that you have the anchor text, which is what this is. Everything that's underlined is the anchor text. So if you go back to what I just said, the page that you actually click on, so if I click this link, I'm telling Google that this link points to a page that's about oceanfront condo rentals in Myrtle Beach. So would you rather tell Google that your oceanfront condo rentals in Myrtle Beach page is about oceanfront condo rentals in Folly Beach? I think I said Myrtle Beach before, in Folly Beach. Or would you rather tell Google that the oceanfront condo rentals in Folly Beach page is about click here? That's the power of a link. So the links contain keywords. They tell Google what the page is about, and it still directs the user to click on that page and sends that signal for them to click. So it does all of those things. So this is something that you can do on your own website and help you rank better. So go through your site and interlink pages. When you have content in your text, link it to another page, even reformat it a bit, make sure it's SEO friendly. Don't go too crazy, because you can over optimize and get a little bit of a, I want to say penalty, but you can over optimize, and that kind of sends up some red flags. But again, that's where that years of experience comes in, of knowing how much is too much. So just a quick recap, links are defined by the anchor text. Now you can have images as links as well. Those don't have anchor text, which again was the underlined portion of the text. But you can use things like alt tags and whatnot. Now, a backlink is a link from another website that comes to your website. We're in the SEO world, we call that a backlink, because it goes back to you. And then internal links are the ones that I was just talking about, that you can actually go out and get on your own website. So that's something that that's the action item. Create some internal links on your website and use keyword friendly anchor text, and link to and from your popular pages on your website. And that just strengthens like that relationship with everything that's going on your site, and really helps Google see what your website is about and helps it rank better. Just remember, popularity equals authority equals better ranking. All right, so here's the technical stuff. Let's get into how this is the technical stuff. All right, here we go. Ready? What you understand that stuff? It's pretty you might even recognize maybe one or two of those words on there, right? This is all the technical stuff that again comes with years of experience. All of this does affect how a search engine works, how it perceives your website. And this is stuff that we all have to worry about on a regular basis. Not necessarily you personally as a property manager, but this is stuff that your SEO team and marketing team better know how to do. If you would just ask them, whenever you're vetting a company, just ask them, hey, have you ever done a disavow before? And then maybe just ask them, have you ever dealt with a duplicate content penalty? That's a little trick for you. Ask them if they know about the duplicate content penalty, because there's actually not a duplicate content penalty. It's a duplicate content filter. Nobody's penalized for having duplicate content. Google just chooses not to show it. So all of this stuff is, all that nerdy stuff. But there is something that I do want to show you guys that I think is actually really cool. And it has to do with 301 redirects. Now, a 301 redirect basically tells a website, tells a browser, tells the internet, including Google, that, hey, this page that I created a long time ago, I want to redirect it to another page on my website. That's all it means. So there's 301 redirects, there's 302s, there's quite a few different variations of redirects, but 301s are really the most important one. I won't even get into the technical nerdy stuff on that one, but let me give you some examples here. So we have 4 different URLs. So there's rentalcompany.com/pet friendly. There's also pet dash friendly. There's also pet friendly capitalized. And then there's pet friendly rentals. Oof. A lot of different variations there, right? Well, this goes back to the duplicate content filter, where Google's going to only pick one of those pages. And it's only going to show that one. Let's say you rank number 1 for, we'll go back to Myrtle Beach pet friendly rentals. If you rank number 1 for that and you have 4 different pages that all have the same content on it, and they're all this different variation, it's only going to pick one of them. That's the duplicate content filter. It's going to filter out all the ones it doesn't want to rank and pick one. Well, here's the other interesting part is whenever it makes that decision, based on the number of links that go to the page. Remember how I said that links are important and they hold that weight? Well, if we have more links to this top version than we do to this bottom one, Google's going to see this one as more important, and it's probably going to rank this version of the page rather than ranking the one at the bottom, which is what we want. So all in all, if Google's presented with this, this is what it does. It really doesn't know what to do, and it just basically picks the page that it thinks is the best based on links and other factors on the website. But that's no good, right? Because we have 4 different pages, and we need to figure out what to do with them. Well, let's pick one. And I'm going to pick this last one because it has the word rentals in there. Again, a keyword friendly URL. I said Myrtle Beach before, so really you should have Myrtle Beach in there as well, in some way, shape, or form. Won't get into the details. There's debates on how to set that up as well, but but the overall scope I wanted to show you guys was when you have all these duplicate pages and doing a 301 redirect, you're saying, okay, well, let me take this top one here and let's redirect that into this main one that I want to rank. Let's take this second one, redirect that one. Let's take this third one and redirect that one. So no matter what version anybody goes to on these, it's going to go to this this final pet friendly page. Ultimately, in the end, the server is going to redirect it and follow that. Now, why is that important? Well, because Google also looks at redirects. Let's say that you have 20 links to this pet friendly page here at the top, and you've got 10 links to this one and 3 links to this one. Well, it takes that combination of all of those links, and it takes all that weight that I was talking about whenever you're creating those links from backlinks or internal links. It takes all that weight and it shoves it into one specific URL. So if you have these 3 pages that are important and it shoves them into this URL, then you're passing that weight to a specific page, and it'll help that page rank better. It'll help Google too. Now, there's a company that we all know of, that did this and does it very well. And I have to commend them on how they did this. And if you're guessing it right now, then kudos to you guys. Starts with a V. Anybody? I'm just asking a random camera this, right? So let's talk about Vacasa and the strides that they made. So Vacasa buys companies, right? That's what we know it as. It it buys out companies and then takes over their operations and stuff like that, and they make money. But nobody ever really thinks about the SEO implications of that. So when they buy a website, when they buy a company, they get the website with it. So, these are just some made up websites that we came up with: East Coast Vacations, traveldestination.com, mountainlodging.com, whatever they are. So I just told you guys that if you 301 redirect a page or multiple pages, doesn't matter, into a website or another page, it takes all of that weight and it passes it to that receiving page. Well, think about this. Vacasa is out there buying companies left and right that have built up their website for years and years. They have the authority, they have the backlinks, they have all of that stuff, and they have that longevity of a very popular and expensive domain name that has a lot of weight for their area. Now they're passing all that weight straight to Vacasa. They're redirecting, they're 301 redirecting vacation luxuryhomes.com. Oop, I got 2 dots in there. Just noticed that. Luxuryhomes.com over to the Vacasa page. Any of these, all of these, they're passing that weight to their main website. And that's why that if you see a website out there that if you see Vacasa all of a sudden pop up in your market and the company that was bought out disappeared, that's because Google basically just switched the search results. It went from mountainlodging.com to vacasa.com / whatever mountain destination is in that area. That switch was almost instantaneous once Google took note of it, and all that authority was passed into Vacasa. So that's how Vacasa, kind of, like I said, won that game. So action item, combine the similar pages into one page. That's pretty much it. I see this a lot actually with blog posts. Let's say that there's a popular event that happens every year, and that event just you write a new blog post for every single time that event happens. 2009, 2010, 2011. Now you've got all these different pages about one singular topic, and it's all the same. The event doesn't really, that festival is the same festival that was there 10 years ago. There might be different vendors, there might be different people showing up. Doesn't matter. You now have all these different blog posts dedicated to one specific topic. So rather than writing a new one, just update the current blog post that's already there. And if you do change the URL, then put in a redirect. And now you have one page dedicated to that event / topic that you can just keep updating year after year after year. And you're updating that page year after year. That page still exists and Google still sees that as a resource. Then you're going to get that ranking and traffic and authority from it, especially if you keep the content from the original posts on there and just archive it at the bottom. Maybe if there's a certain music artists that show up, and you have an active archive of everybody that's played at that festival for the past X number of years. So updating blog posts is just as important as creating new ones. I don't want to see a blog post for the top 3 ice cream shops and another one a year later for the top 5. Update that top 3 and change it to top 5. And then put it on social media, link to it, stuff like that. And updating old blog posts is better than creating new blog posts for the same topic. Okay, so let me take a drink and let me advance my slides. So user intent. This is something that kind of breaks the mold, and this is something that a lot of newbies to SEO don't quite understand yet. Now, like I said, I've been doing this for been in the VR industry for 15 years and ranked my first website. Geez, it was 20 years ago now. Wow. Yeah. User intent is a fairly, I won't say new concept, but it's been popularized, and the algorithms have been really based upon it in the past 5 years. And user intent is really understanding what the user is searching for and providing what the user is searching for. If somebody's searching for red shoes, then Google wants to provide that user with search results about red shoes. Doesn't care about the green ones or the pink ones or the clogs. It's providing red shoes. So how does that tie into the vacation rentals? Well, I'll get into more of that in a second. I like to tease that a little bit. But pogo sticking. So let's talk about pogo sticking, because I think this is really cool too. So this is kind of hard to explain, but bear with me. Let's say that let's say we're doing red shoes. Let's be more specific though. Let's say how to paint red shoes. Weird, but okay. How to paint red shoes. So if I Google that and that first search result doesn't satisfy what I'm looking for, I'm going to hit that back button, right? I'm on Google. I go to a website. I hit the back button, and then I go to the second result, right? I go to number 2 here. Then I take that number 2 and I look at it for a while. No, it's still not what I'm looking for. So I go to number 3. Oh, geez, it's still not what I'm looking for. I'm going to number 4. Oh, cool. Number 4 is there. That's it. I'm done. And I find what I'm looking for. Do I go back to Google? No, right? I close that browser window. I put down my phone. I end my journey. Well, when you're on Google, Google's watching you. Yeah, they're watching you. They're seeing that, hey, he didn't go to that first one. He didn't go to that second one. He didn't go to that third one. He went to that fourth one. That's telling Google that these top 3 did not satisfy the user whenever they made that specific query. So that means that fourth one might get a little bit of a ranking increase because it did satisfy the user. If enough people do that, it takes note and says, okay, let's move that puppy up. How does that tie into vacation rentals? We've seen pogo sticking happen quite a bit. And by pogo sticking, I'm talking about the search results actually changing on a daily basis. And this was mainly in 2021 for the summer 2021 because of availability. Now, these were there were only a few markets that we saw this consistently change, and it's still changing right now. Now, again, think about this in the VR terms. So if I go to that first result and they have no availability for the weeks that I'm looking for, all right, I'm going to the second result. Now I'm going to the third result. Now I'm going to the fourth result. That availability fluctuation constant when users are pogo sticking back and forth between Google and your website, that's causing those algorithms to like go into a feeding frenzy and switch stuff up constantly. So we've seen that quite a bit due to COVID in 2021 in the summer, because the people are looking, there's so much demand and no availability. So people are jumping back and forth constantly. And Google doesn't know your search states that you're interested in until you actually get to the website. And so it doesn't know if you're being satisfied. So you're bouncing back and forth. Hope that makes sense. But I want you to kind of think about something else too. In that same avenue, let's say that COVID didn't exist, and let's say that we have you have 3 properties on your website, and your competition has 200. And let's say that you rank number 1, and your competition ranks number 2. In a perfect world, we're going crazy scenario here. So what are the chances of somebody visiting your website that has 3 properties and finding a vacation rental versus that same person that visits a website that has 120? They're going to pogo stick, right? So that affects your ranking. Now, I'm not saying that 250 versus 200 is a big deal, property count. I'm not saying that 5 versus 10 is a big difference. But if you're a small company and you have these high hopes and dreams to rank for, the most popular keyword in your in your area, and your competition has 300 properties and you've got 15 or 20, it's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen until you grow. So that kind of stuff is something you do have to be aware of, is when you do have to grow in inventory as well as growing with your just SEO, organic, and all this other stuff that I'm talking about. All right, so here's here's my soapbox one. Here's the one that really grinds my gears and makes me just nah. So let me grab my soapbox real quick and we'll come back. All right, so we've all seen these, right? We've all gotten this email. I left his phone number in there for you if you guys want to check it out. Give Jake a call, and I'm sure he'll be able to help you out. Here's another one. I love this. We can place your website in Google's first page, Yahoo, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, etc. It doesn't even work that way. But we've all gotten these, right? And they say that we've run audits, and there's competing agencies with us that they run audits, and they point out like all this stuff. Oh, look at all these bad audit scores, and look what's wrong with your website, and let's fix this stuff, and you're going to be on your way to perfect rankings. No, so audits come from tools, and tools actually do the audits, right? They're the ones that will crawl your website and look at every page and make an educated decision about best practices. Let me repeat that. These tools do not connect to Google and tell Google that, hey, this website is ranking better because this my audit score is better. No, they make educated decisions based on best practices that have been created by the industry and by the SEO industry, and points out things that you probably should fix or might want to fix to rank better. But here's the thing is you have to know how to use these tools. Anybody can run this audit and say, oh man, my website sucks. It's my audit score is a 10 or a 60 or a 30 or whatever. If you don't understand how that works and why it's important, then don't freak out about it, because it won't matter as much as you think it does. So my one of my employees said it perfectly. He's one of my marketing guys, and he had the best quote ever for this one. So you don't hire a hammer to build a house. You hire a builder who knows how to use one, right? So these tools are the hammer. And if it's in the wrong hands, you're probably paying money for something that you don't need to have fixed. Here's one of our audits. Here's one of ICND's audits. 51% site health. It's got over almost 4,000 errors on it, 23,000 warnings and notices. Oh man. Well, you know what? It ranks number one for the major search terms we're going after. It also ranks in the top 4 for the sub search terms, the longer tail keywords that we're going after. So Google is smart enough to look past the errors on a website and figure out if your site is worthy to a user. All of that technical stuff that I showed you guys a while back, while yes, it is important, Google is able to look past it and figure out if your content, if your website, by backlinks, by words on the page, by the correct optimization, it will figure out if your content is worthy, and it will show it. Now, does that other stuff help? Oh yeah. There's those audits will uncover some crazy things that you will need to fix, and those things are I won't say the priority, but those things are important. But if your agency is all they're doing every month is they're talking to you about, oh, we increased your audit score, we made your audit score better, and you have this in the back of your mind is, okay, why is that important? What do I care? You need to ask them why they're doing that stuff, and why that they're why why is it important? Ask them. And if they can't explain why it's important, then you might need to dump them. And they need to be able to give you specifics. Don't just ask the general question, why do I need to increase my audit score? Have them show you the audit. Show that there's individual things that are broken out in that audit. Everything from like your title tag being too long, that it gets flagged about. But just so you know, Google doesn't care about that either. There's things, that could be the duplicate content filter. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Have them go over specifics with you. I can de-optimize your website to make your audit better if you want me to. I can make your title tag shorter to not include the relevant keywords by 1 pixel so that your audit score will be better. You do that with your meta descriptions to make it less click worthy. A lot of stuff I can do to make you have you a great audit score. So read more about this on a blog post that I did, icnd.net/scare. And this will redirect you to some specific examples of things that I've seen and things that you guys probably want to maybe bring to your agency or something like that, or ask and see what you can drum up as far as making sure you understand what exactly they're providing for you. All right, moving on. I gotta go through this a lot quicker. I could talk about SEO all day, all night. It's just who I am. Just me. Let's talk about EAT though. And EAT is something that's actually it's important for 2 reasons. And it's in the Google Raters Guide. I'm not going to get into that, but it's fairly important. But it does stand for something. It stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. So expertise is providing content that satisfies the intent of the searcher. I talked about user intent, right? So if you can provide them what they're looking for, then that's the expertise portion of it. Now, it doesn't really stop there though. It's more about if you have 300 properties on your website and you don't have text, and you don't have like reasons why, or you don't have information about your area and why you are the best rental company, or why you have the best condos in Ocean City, you're losing out on that expertise, because you do have to convince people, regular humans, not just the algorithms. You have to convince people that you're an expert in your area and why you've been in business for so long. That also goes into that trust factor. So there's expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Now the authority comes from backlinks. And I said links for authority. The more links you have, quality links, don't go after quantity. You can get penalized very easily for that. So don't worry about that. That's for a professional SEO. Trust. Now, trust is something that a lot of property managers do miss out on and don't think about. If I go to a website, how do I trust you? How do I trust you compared to Airbnb? Compared to Vrbo? They've got these satisfaction guarantees plastered on their website. They've got, all that stuff, all that trustworthy, that brand, the big brand, right? That, hey, if I rent through Vrbo, they're going to have my back. Or if I rent through Airbnb, Airbnb is going to have my back. Not going to make a joke about that, but we know that drill. So trust is where you have to convince the user and Google that you are a trustworthy source to rent from. So you can do that on a technical fashion for Google by having a lot of reviews. Those reviews should be on your Google My Business profile, on even using Trustpilot, doing things that anywhere that has good reviews. And if you have good reviews on Yelp, then hats off to you, because I've yet to see a property management company with above a 2-star on Yelp. I don't know what kind of problem they have with us, but it's just how it is. So you should really tout that if you've got a good rating on Yelp. And please email me, because I'd love to see it in person. But trust, reviews, get reviews. as many as you can. And if you can get them to be longer than not just great company, then do that too. I have some tips and tricks if you want to reach out to me about getting some good reviews. There's privacy policies. Google looks at your site and looks at your privacy policy, your terms and conditions. It does crawl that stuff. And if you don't have one on your site that's easily accessible, you might get dinged. Oh, the sunlight's really coming in, isn't it? The reviews, privacy policy, clear contact info. Believe it or not, in the Google Raters guides, it says, is it easy to contact this company? You better have your phone number clearly displayed. You better have your mailing address, your physical address on your website. And any other contact point that you think a user would want to contact you guys. And then the About Us page. When a lot of times when you look at a website, a guest really wants to know who's behind it, right? They want to know the story. They want to know the people. They want to know, why book with you guys versus Airbnb and Vrbo. So a good About Us page not only just has some company history on it, but it also has the pictures of people in charge. If you have a staff directory, you can do I'd say a group photo. Anything that's going to instill trust into that, into the booker. And when you can accomplish that, then that's how you win. And to be perfectly frank, I mean, probably 50% of all the websites I've seen over the years, all the vacation rental websites over the years, there's either not a clear About Us page that's in the navigation, or the one that's there maybe just has a paragraph or two, and it's just summing up what you do is you rent the best rentals in the area. That does not give any insight onto who you really are. So work on the About Us page, and that'll help too, most definitely. So that would be the action item. The action item of the day. Do an About Us page. Make sure your privacy policy is up to date, and diversify your review portfolio. Get reviews on as many places as you possibly can. And again, I have all of these in a handout for you that you can download. So link to that will be at the end. So finally, always have this phrase that whenever you're wanting to do better than your competitors, whenever you're wanting to do better than Airbnb or Vrbo, when it comes to algorithms and it comes to ranking, you don't have to run faster than the bear. You just have to run faster than your friend that's running from the bear. And that in itself, it's basically how you do SEO. If you need to look at your competition, you need to figure out why you're better than them, and you need to really harp on about that stuff on your website. If they've got better content about your area, then you better create better content than that. And that's half the battle right there. Whether it's links that they have, you have to do better. Whether it's the content on the website, whether it's those trust signals, all that stuff, that all it ties into making it better. So I definitely recommend running faster than your friend in this instance. So hope that helped everybody, at least give you some basics, and then you can take that stuff to the bank. If you want, you can reach out to me directly. There's my email right there, and then the link to that checklist is on there as well for all those action items, and plus a few more that you can use to really drive home your direct bookings and really help with the SEO to get your direct bookings. So hope that helps, guys, and thanks again.